He's made of biscuits. Don, I don't hate you, but I hate Chelsea. Your club stole Robin from us 20 years ago, and now Quenda. That was going to be the next subject very quickly. What do you boys make of the Quenda deal? It's going to be around 43 million euros, around 38 million, rising to 50 if the add-ons are achieved. He won't be joining Chelsea until the summer of 2026, so he'll stay for another year at Sporting Lisbon. He signed, it is an 8-year deal. It's 7 years with a 1-year extension that Chelsea can trigger, which means it's 8 years. It's an 8-year deal, but it is another kid that will come in at 18 years of age in, I don't know where you'll quite play him. Your system's different to what he's doing now currently at Sporting, but he'll either play in a kind of 10 role or one of your winger roles. Are you happy with this signing for 8 years start coming, or do you feel that money should have gone towards, because a lot of Chelsea fans are saying that money should have gone towards a more experienced player?
I think people are overreacting. First of all, I was surprised because, I was we were all thinking he was going to go to United, right? We saw the bomber before Ornstein said United are discussing him internally and whatnot. Amorim, it made sense, the system that you're playing. I thought he was going there. So that's why this morning I was surprised, bro. I said, yo, I haven't seen a single link anywhere. It reminded me of Neto in the summer because we didn't hear a single thing about Neto either. And then all of a sudden it got wrapped up. So him as a talent, I don't know much about him. Let me not act as if I've watched bare games because I literally haven't, right? Haven't seen a single game of this guy. So I need to do my research. Big up Staffy. do my research.
I swear that was the first thing I thought about yesterday. It was midnight. I was like, I wonder if Don is going to wake up tomorrow and the first thing he's going to do is, let me do my research on this player. That's the first thing I thought.
I need to do my research on Quenda because I don't go off of compilations. Compilations only show you the best bits of players. I like to watch, all actions, right? But from what I'm reading, from what I'm seeing about the guy, he's got a lot of appearances, bro, for a 17-year-old. He's been called up for Portugal again. He's got Champions League experience as well. By the time he joins Chelsea, bro, he would have played over 100 matches at 18, 19? That's valuable experience, bro. It's not obviously Prem experience, but it's still first team football in comparison to getting someone like a Mudryk who literally had minimal experience in Ukraine. You know what I'm saying? So I think that he's going to be he's one that we're looking at as a top talent. But for me, the main thing, Terry, is in the summer, we still need to make sure that we're invested in the first team. Yeah. I told you from day one, I don't mind these sort of signings. These are the sort of signings I want Chelsea to be making for young players. But we have to make sure that we don't neglect the first team. That's when it becomes a problem. When I'm seeing people overreacting online today, I'm like, bro, calm your tits, bro. Yeah, the summer hasn't even reached yet. We don't know what's going to happen. This surprised us out of nowhere. We don't know what they've got cooking, right? We know we need a striker. We know we need another centre-back. We know we need a Mudryk replacement because George is still young. He's still learning. We can't put all that pressure on him, right? So let's see what they do before we start saying, you see another young kid. You know what I mean? The main problem you've got really is stockpiling, obviously, because we've got Esteval, you've got Quenda. I think he can play on the left as well. We don't really have any left wingers at the moment. And obviously you've got Madueke, you've got Neto. But I'll be real, Madueke, these sort of guys, I can see them getting sold for someone like a Quenda. I'll be honest with you, bro. You know what I'm saying? But I'm calm with it. As long as we bring in right players in the summer, I don't mind it at all.
I'm not surprised to see it. Madueke, we know the club was looking at alternatives to him. You were looking at Garnacho. The fact the club's exploring. I read somewhere that the fine you could pay to Man United could be as high as £18 million for not going through with the 25 million. And by the way, from a financial standpoint for Man United, that's not the end of the world, because if we take 18 million from you, we only have to sell him for like 7 million to make up the 25 million we would have got anyway. But maybe we get even more out of it. So I'm not surprised. I don't know about you, Staffy, though. I've been a little bit disappointed with Man United fans not understanding this. I've seen a lot of, it's a bad start for the summer already for Ineos. Have let the manager down. And I understand his disappointment because I am. He looks a tremendous talent. He has the ability to go on to be a star. You never know how good these youngsters will become, but he looks brilliant, and I'm not going to change my mind because he's chosen to go to Chelsea. But there's two elements of this deal that Man United cannot do. Firstly, we don't give out 8-year contracts. And I understand a young player maybe being offered 50, 60, 80, 100 grand a week for 8 years. He's saying, wow, because he might bomb, right? In a year's time, we all might be looking at him and going, what the fuck are Chelsea buying, right? You've done an 8-year deal with him, right? So we don't do 8-year deals. Chelsea do. And Man United fans will go mad if we offered an 8-year deal. The second element is this. Chelsea are in a position where they can offer this young man a year loan back to Sporting. He can stay. I assume he's Portuguese, so he can stay in his native land.
He's been called up again. He's been called
He
up
can
again.
stay in he can stay in his native land. He gets another year in an environment that's comfortable to him before moving on. Man United, anything we spend this summer that's significant, we need that player instantly. So Sporting have been told, look, we'll pay you what you want, but you get to keep him for a year. Man United can't offer Sporting that. So Sporting Lisbon
they had the better package.
So the only way now for us to have stopped this deal would to have been to offer Sporting even more money. And again, I'm not going to be a hypocrite at this particular point or change my mind right now and say, well, I've been moaning for years that we overpay for players. And in the first significant summer signing for Amorim, let's overpay. For me, I think we have to start on the right foot, and that's try our very best to stay within the budgets that we've put in and pay for players what we think they are worth. I just think it's important for us to continue in that methodology as best that we can do. And Chelsea are in a position where they can offer a better package to the player and Sporting at this particular moment. So I'm gutted, but I'm not losing my mind because maybe it's because I've been moaning about us doing bad business deals in terms of bad structure, overpaying, etc. for 12 years. I can't suddenly start moaning when we actually stick to our guns and operate in the correct way. So for me, I don't think it's right to today go, hang on, there's 50 million up front, no matter how good or bad he is. And the player, and then, okay, look, there's 80 grand a week for the next 8 years. I don't want us to do that. I don't want us to operate in that way. So I can't. Yeah. I'm disappointed we're not getting him, but I'm not angry at the club personally.
Yeah, listen, I'm disappointed we're not getting him too, but by no means whatsoever am I angry at the club for doing that. First of all, Chelsea went in and they offered a better deal. They gave him probably better incentives. The fact that he's going to be there for 7 years plus 1, so 8 years essentially. Sporting get to keep him for 1 more year, so that's a better deal for them. Both clubs reach a better deal than we could have gotten. We were never going to compete with that. So fair enough, they negotiated a better deal and they got that. Now, when I look at Quenda, he's a good player, but for his position and for what we need in this team, you can't afford, in my opinion at least, you can't afford to get in another bidding war with another club to get this player for more than he's going to be worth. So we go in, we say, no, fuck off Chelsea, we're getting him from you. We give 65 million as an example. You find yourself in another Lenny Euro situation. Now, do I think it was worth doing it for Lenny Euro? Probably. We're still going to find out, but probably. I look at Quenda, there is alternatives. So for what he brings to this team and what we have in this team, is it worth going into a bidding war with Chelsea and overpaying for Quenda to get him? I don't think so. You still have Tyler Dibbling in Southampton, who I'm a big fan of, and a lot of people like him, that you can potentially get for lower money, if not the same money as Quenda. So that feels like, okay, there was no loss there. We just got one of the options that we wanted. Now, is he the player that was going to get United anywhere like much better next season? I like him, but I don't look at him that way. We have depth in that position right now. I mean, Ahmad, when he comes back, I think that's going to be his position. We need another player that could play there until we decide what we're going to do with Dalot. I don't look at this position, and I think it's such an essential position for United where we all sit here and we're disappointed. If anything, I'm looking at this now and I'm like, all right, we missed out on what good talent. Let's go and try to actually put money in another young talent coming up, because there's a lot of young upcoming talent in Europe this season that everyone needs to start snatching, and we need to get at least one of them. I'm looking at it, I'm like, you know what? This is maybe a door that closed, but maybe I can go and invest in one of the 10s, because we're about to play Ryan Shirky next game in the Europa League. And I'm thinking, if I'm investing a lot of money in a position, I don't really look at Quenda for what he will do for this team and say, yeah, go overpay there. I'd rather go overpay as an example for Turkey, because Turkey is the future in French football. He's not even French, he's Algerian, but you know what I mean. So I don't think there's anything for United fans to be too disappointed on anyways. And one more thing before you go on. I'm looking at one positive thing from this. At least now, we don't have to deal with the, he only signs former players or Portuguese players. The nepotism claims are now gone. I don't want to hear that no more.
This is the element where I got a little frustrated when I looked on socials earlier. A lot of the same people who I saw for 2 years say these are United fans. Forget rivals. That they're meant to flip to whichever side is negative for Man United. The United fans I saw for 2-3 years go, the manager's talent ID is bad. He only shines his ex-players. Today saying it's a terrible look that his ex-players are not signing for him. Hang on a fucking minute. That's the level of hypocrisy which I just can't abide by. Now, I don't think signing your ex-players is necessarily a bad thing. Ten Hag's issue was he was buying ex-players for his ex-system that he wasn't trying to implement at Man United. That was the flaw, not those players. Although a couple of these ex-players or ex-Ajax players like De Ligt and Maz look fucking brilliant for us this year, lo and behold, because we're building a system that gets the best out of their technical abilities. But look, as Owen says here, so Man United are likely to go for Roger Fernandez now after missing out on Quenda. This is a proper plan B, unlike Woodward. Again, and this is the thing, I want to wait and see a little bit. I'm going to wait and see. And I'll give you an example. Man United preferred getting Mendes from PSG in January. Couldn't get it done. He signs a new deal. We go and get Dorgu. I'm not saying Dorgu is going to be as good as Mendes. He's a long way behind that level at the moment. But I'm really impressed with them and I'm excited. I know I wanted another striker and I'm disappointed we didn't get another attacker. I'm not going to change my mind on that. But we've also gone out and signed for under £1 million Heaven from Arsenal. Now, when we signed him,
he's looked very good.
He's so good, bro.
He looks
He's impressed me more than Euro. He's impressed me more than Euro, man. I'll be so real.
I'm not gonna lie, yeah. That performance alone yesterday.
Hang on. No. Euros look very good the last few games. You know why I think Heaven's impressed you more? The same as I feel that as well. Is perspective again. When we bought him in for like 800 grand, my honest thought was, well, we bought a youngster to play in the academy that we might flip in the future. But it actually looks, and again, when I say it looks like, we actually announced him on the day that we announced Dorgu to the fans and stuff. He was part of that. He's been bought for the first team and he looks good. And I think he's just so much better than I expected him to be. Where with Euro, because we bought him for a lot of money, you're like, well, he must be really good because you bought him for a lot of money. If we'd have bought Heaven off Arsenal for 30 million, our view would probably be different because we wouldn't be, we'd be expecting more. Exactly. But he's been brilliant. He's looked so comfortable. And the tackle he made yesterday where he had to come from the side and run back. And I'm not going to lie, boys. I'm going to say this now because Man United have lacked it for a number of years. It's so good to see some strength, some acceleration, some explosiveness in the team. Dorgu's brought it to us as an example. Like Ahmad's played a lot more this
Martinez, your days are numbered.
That was starving.
I love it, mate. I know we have been. And I watched him yesterday. He got beat. He wasn't beat. He was caught out of position slightly because it was good play from Sociedad. And we're like, normally at this point, we've got centre-backs that are chasing after a player. They can't catch him. He just accelerated, got to the side, slid in, won the ball. And I'm like, there's some speed. The speed. I just love it. I love it, but you need a bit of speed.
It's good, man. He's good. It's good. For me, with the Euro thing, listen, I was hearing he's generational, Real Madrid want this guy. So I was like, all right, cool, let me go take him in. He's got a big name, up and coming and whatnot. I'm not going to overly cook this guy because he's young, he can improve. But like I said to you lot in the summer, when I was watching his games back, I wasn't seeing this generational talent that people were telling me about. I'm sorry. I was seeing this guy getting sliced and diced more than anything.
That
because of the one cinema.
Hold on. Let me finish.
It hasn't happened before.
Let me finish.
You're doing what you accused toxic Chelsea fans of doing earlier.
Let me land my point.
Let him bury himself. Let him speak.
The point that I'm saying is I wasn't seeing a generational talent. I was seeing someone who's got potential and can become a top player, right? But for example, when I watched Saliba against Chelsea pre-season, bro, I was like, yo, this guy's incredible. You know what I mean? I didn't get that feeling with Euro. Do you get it? That's the point that I'm making. Like, I feel like hang
on. Saliba's 5 years fucking older, Don.
I know
he means when he saw him at the time.
I'm saying when I saw him at the time, when I saw him play against us.
When
we played them in pre-season, bro.
When did you play in pre-season?
The season we finished 12th. That was what, 3 years ago?
3 years ago, right? Okay, when he was 20.
3 years ago.
I get that. I get where you're coming from, but with Euro, I think you didn't obviously watch. I know he got injured against Arsenal. You were not watching the Arsenal game.
I did. Nah, he was good. He was good in that.
Did you watch the Fulham game?
Bro, I watch all your games. You know this.
Then you would have seen how brilliant he was.
Recently, he's been better. That's the point. But I'm saying, from what I've seen from Heaven instantly, I'm like, yo, this guy looks good, man.
Yeah, like, I understand. But the benefit Heaven's got, and I'm not playing down anything he's done, is Heavens, and he's hasn't emigrated at 18 years of age to a new country, a new land, and new things. He's moved, a couple of hours up the motorway as an example and been brilliant. I feel like Yoro, he had the bad injury when he came in. He's had one bad game where he got cooked. But
anyone, so no matter what, cooked anyone that day. I don't even want to hear it.
But he's also
he was my right back.
Okay.
Yeah, because he didn't play like that that day.
Yeah, okay.
I said he got cooked.
Okay,
bro.
but look, he got cooked once. This happened before at Man United with Vidic. Vidic had a couple of bad games out of 14 matches when he played against Fernando Torres, and everyone talks like, Torres always cooked him. It was 1.5 games where he did. The rest of it, Vidic kept him quiet, and this happens a lot in football. We remember a certain incident. Yoro's been pretty good for Man United. I've been very, very impressed with him recently, but Heaven's been excellent as well. Because we're going to run out of time. We've got to get 2 more subjects in the next 20 minutes we've got to get through here. Don, that's why you're not a paid scout. Also in the summer, you can't take Don's centre-backs seriously. In the summer, he was saying Colwell over Gabriel in a combined...
You're a bad guy. You're a bad guy. I never said that. No. Let me clarify what I said.
No context for you. No context.
Let's add context to this. I said Gabriel is a better defender than Cole. That's not even a debate, right? Mm-hmm. But I said if I had to bring a centre back, I'd bring Saliba to play next to Cole, because the way that we play Maresca's system, the way we build from the back, Cole I think would be better in terms of the build-up.
Semantics.
In terms of defending, bro, Gabriel's better than Cole, man. Let's get that right.
Yeah.
He's better than him.
Yeah. Heaven was rated in our academy even during the preseason. Heaven played a lot, for us, but he didn't have a pathway. I do agree. Like, you look at the centre backs, there wasn't a pathway into that team. We play with 3 as well. So if you're a centre back right now,
though, I'm sorry, he said it in our top 6 chat. Mr. Igao, when we signed this player that day, and I can go back and find the receipts. That's the guy that represents you guys, Arsenal fans. He told us that Heaven was a B Tech talent in their academy compared to the A talent, aka Waneri and what's his name, Lewis Skelly. So he told us he was a level below these guys. That is Igao for you guys.
But Igao also said that Robin van Persie was from their academy. So years ago.
He really said that.
Yeah, he was a mistake. Right.